Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences.
More sanctions against Russia as a full-scale war is underway in Ukraine now. The Russian military closing in on Ukraine's capital city, and U.S. officials warn a takeover could happen any moment. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. The crisis in Ukraine escalating as we prepare to enter day 2 of war. This is a live look now over Kyiv. Local reports say explosions were heard just moments ago as Russian forces continue their assault.
And while things look calm there right now, after all, it is 5 o'clock Friday morning. That was not the scene as the sun rose over Kyiv this morning. Russia unleashed its massive attack on Ukraine in the early morning hours, with residents waking up to the sound of missiles and bombs falling and tanks rolling across the border into all parts of the country.
Ukrainians fearing for their lives made plans today to get out of the country as soon as possible. Long lines of cars snaked around gas stations as people tried to fill up their tanks before taking off. But in the nation's second largest city, people who have nowhere to go are seeking shelter in the subway system. The U.S. and its NATO allies are condemning the actions of Russian President Vladimir Putin after he launched a full-scale military invasion of Ukraine.
In addition to another round of sanctions, President Biden is sending more troops to Germany to bolster NATO's defenses. Fox 5 News anchor Christine Spiro joins us now in studio for a look tonight at the very latest. Christine?
Yeah, again, as you guys said at the top, the crisis in Ukraine is escalating tonight. Ukraine's president says the attacks have killed 137 heroes, he called, including 10 military officers, and 316 people are wounded. Russia's attack is prompting a unified response from Western allies. Dramatic video capturing a powerful airstrike targeting a thermal power plant in Ukraine. Russian tanks and troops are taking over city streets. Some Ukrainians forced to find shelter inside a metro station.
None of it feels real. I don't even know how to relate to it.
Ukraine's government is reporting mounting casualties and losing ground, including the Chernobyl nuclear power plant.
According to our information, the enemy has listed me as target number 1 and my family as target number 2. They want to destroy the country politically, terminating the head of state.
President Biden met virtually with leaders of the G7 and announced more sanctions against Russia, but admitted it will take time for these measures to have an impact on Putin's decision-making.
This is a dangerous moment for all of Europe, for the freedom around the world. Putin has committed an assault on the very principles that uphold the global peace.
There's also growing concern over the impact the war will have on the U.S. economy in the weeks and months ahead.
I know this is hard, and that Americans are already hurting. I will do everything in my power to limit the American people are feeling at the gas pump.
NATO's Secretary General is calling the attack a brutal act of war that has shattered peace in Europe. Tomorrow, NATO is planning to hold a summit with 30 countries to map out the next steps of their response. Russ?
Christine, thank you. And in the meantime, we're hearing reports out of Ukraine that staff members at Chernobyl nuclear plant have been taken hostage by Russian troops. We're following that story, and we'll work to get more information in a live report from Washington, D.C. coming up at the half hour.